Okay, folks, how is everyone? Great to see some people on the webinar here, some regulars, so to speak. Looks like a couple new faces as well. Tonight's topic is one of these popular demand things that get asked a lot. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm actually going to set a timer because I want to really stay on time today. Just some background stuff. I do this webinar every week, 9 o'clock Monday nights. The purpose is to be able to answer questions, to give a forum for people to get questions answered regarding educational topics, test prep topics, specifically maximum education topics, which are the book that I wrote and published, and that's the goal. So it's every Monday at 9. Uh-oh. There we go. So once again, I'm Dr. Steven Greene. My book is Maximum Education. I'm also the lead educator and tutor at mAke, which is my tutoring company. And since I'm here, a quick change. There we go. Tonight, we're going to talk about something I think is important from a parent's and a student standpoint, which is the timeline for the SAT and ACT. And I'm going to tell you, this is an individual case circumstance. I'm going to show kind of a generic, broad stroke explanation here. So I would encourage anybody who sees this, whether it's live or on the replay, to get with me and go through this with your own circumstance. But the general stuff is going to apply to pretty much everyone. I'm going to flash this up at the end. These are some of the many ways that you get a hold of me: phone number, email, websites, Facebook page, etc., etc. This is my personal page. This is the company page, the mAke the grAde page. I've also started a text info list. I'm going to plug it a little bit. If you text START to this phone number here, 883-4450, about twice, maybe twice a week at the most, you get a text. There's a lot of giveaways. There's a lot of discounts in there. It's a good idea if you do frequent tutoring to get on it. Okay, so let's talk about the SAT. The SAT is given 7, possibly 8 times a year. Typically January, March, May, June, which are sort of thought of as the winter, spring season, October, November, December, which is the fall. I'm seeing here an August test date, which would be first time ever. Never had it in the summer before, so I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I see it here. This is pulled off of the company's site, so maybe they're considering a summer test. But generally, you've got 7 or 8 times a year you can take this test. Very few people do that many. I'm going to talk about that in a second. ACT, you got 6 times a year: February, April, June, September, October, December. So roughly, SAT in odd months, ACT in even months. Not quite exact, but here's where it all goes. The goal for any student of mine, every student of mine, try to hit your target numbers, your target scores by the time you get done your junior year. Whether you take the test once or 8 times, that's the goal. What defines a target number? It's important. It is the score number you think is going to get you admittance, get you that yes at the college of your choice. It'll be a 900 if that's what you think you can get in. Maybe it's 1400 if you're going a little more competitive, a lot more competitive. But that's the goal. I have plenty of seniors who come back and take SAT senior year. And it's not just because they didn't do well. Sometimes it's scholarship issues, or maybe their goals change. So let's start in 10th grade. 10th grade's not a whole lot going on. The major event is you're going to take the PSAT in October. I'm in Pennsylvania, and this is commonly done here. There are some areas of the country and some states, and even some schools that don't believe in worrying about the PSAT in 10th grade. It should probably be called the PPSAT, practice preliminary SAT, but it is a good experience. I recommend taking it if you can. To a degree, the more of these tests you can take, the better. So that's really the only thing going on sophomore year. I'd probably prep 5 to 10 sophomores for PSATs. I don't highly recommend it. I'd rather you really save it for later, but it's usually a quick 3 to 4 week prep. We go over each area of the test once just to give them a leg up. Now, this would be kind of a max situation. Okay, so this is junior year timeline, and this is kind of really going for it. I would consider this a fairly aggressive schedule. Start with a PSAT in October. Now again, it's a different test. Every year they change it. Then you would segue into an SAT and or ACT in December. Now the logic here is by around Christmas holiday, winter break, you've got all 3 scores back, or at least these 2 scores back, the SAT and the ACT. And if one of your questions, which I talked about 2 weeks ago on this webinar, is which test is better for me, SAT or ACT, this might give you a chance to make that determination, depending on how your scores come out. So you've got what I would call here your fall agenda. It's good experience. It gives you a sense of what's going on with all the tests. It gives you kind of a reset point. Now there is a January SAT. I do not highly recommend it. It would probably go right over here. The problem is it conflicts and overlaps with a lot of students' midterms or if you're a block schedule for finals. So we typically don't take that one as often. Come back, you got kind of your winter spring circumstance where you've got 6 potential tests to take. So if you go kind of all in here, you potentially take these tests 8 times. Now, in the old days, this would be kind of unheard of. Nowadays, it's not that uncommon. I have people routinely taking between 2 and 5, 6 times. Sometimes you're chasing scores, but sometimes it's just the exposure, you get better and better. Let me show you a variation on this, which I would consider all SATs. So it starts out the same. You got the PSAT in October, but instead you go 2 SATs in the fall, or one or the other. Now you've got your score, your review, you've got midterms in January. That sets you up for the spring. Okay? Now, one of the reasons it's important to know all these dates is things come up. Things happen. You have other things going on in your life at times. For example, I have some students that can't take this May SAT because it's the day after their prom. And I'm fine with that. Prom's important to people. Maybe not the most important thing in any given week, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. There's plenty of opportunities to take SATs. But because there's only so many dates, you've got to say, well, gee, if May is off the table, maybe I need to take March and I need to take June because I need to get enough sittings in, especially if you can't take January because of your conflict with midterms. So it's a good idea to sit there early in your junior year and say, okay, my plan is check, 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 check. And if you hit your big numbers in December, you modify it. But this is why looking ahead and having this timeline is really important and really valuable. Here's a similar idea with the ACT. And again, it's any variation of this, but the ACT plays out a little bit better because the February one doesn't conflict with midterms, or typically doesn't. But there is an ACT in September, so you could actually jump in a little bit earlier and run from there. So it's the same idea, but it's the same planning ahead. So one of the things I do with a lot of my students and their families is sit down with them or get on the phone with them or Skype or any of the facilities we use to meet, and in August or early September, or even earlier if you're going to be hitting up this ACT in September, and map out a plan for the whole year. Now, of course, it's written in pencil, and they change a lot, but what you don't want to do is have some surprise and say, gee, I forgot, I have a conflict, I got a wedding, I got whatever. At some point down the road, it's going to preclude you taking one of the tests, and then you're really putting pressure on the next week. Also, from a prep standpoint, you want to have enough time to get ready for it. Now, your junior to senior year transition this summer, hopefully, if you hit your numbers here, okay, now you can focus on the college admissions process, which is complicated. and there's many steps to it. But the main ones really are working on your essays, hopefully over the summer. You really want them done by the time you're ready in August, because then you can start working on the applications in August and get them in if you want to go early action or early decision by early September. You got a little more time if you go standard decision. So now, if you look at kind of a combination of this slide and here, you start to see why planning ahead early in your junior year is important, because you've got a lot of things going on. Your goal is to get to college. You need the SAT number to get you in, you need the grades to get you in. But you also have to get through the process itself. So here's kind of probably a more practical timeline that I work with on a lot of people. This is what you could do senior year, okay? If you're going to come back, you've got 6 shots at the test if you don't hit your numbers junior year. Now, one of the reasons I like to record all these webinars is because this is very day-to-day information for me. But if you've never seen it before, maybe go to the replay, pause it, take a look at it, and kind of map it out. But the point is, really the take-home message I want everybody to see here is you need to be aware of what's coming, whether it's your junior year, your summer in between, or your senior year, so you can plan ahead. It takes a while to prep for ACTs or SATs. It can take 12, 15, 16 weeks. So you can't worry about the September ACT beginning last week of August. So here are some prepping starting points, and this is junior year. You can start the summer before your junior year, and I would recommend having a kind of planning meeting anyway. If the PSAT, go right into these tests. You could wait till the PSAT, work into here, or you could start usually right after winter break or right after midterms for the spring. These are the 3 most common entry points. Probably the most common is right here. I'd say it's about half, quarter this year, but it changes year to year. So this is the sort of chart I would go through and create with a family, with a student, early in your junior year or summer before the junior year, maybe even late 10th grade. And you're now looking ahead and seeing what's coming up. All right, so here's the point. You've got many opportunities to take the SAT, you've got many opportunities to take the ACT, and you've got to take the PSAT because the schools want you to do that and it's a good idea. So you need to plan these ahead a little bit. I'm here offering test prep, so I like to see people know when they're planning to take the test so we can set up the best, most efficient, and most effective prep that we can given their timelines. Keyword here is planning, knowing what's coming, and anticipating. Alrighty, here's my favorite part of the webinar, which is questions and answers. I just want to check that. Okay, well, then we got 2 questions. Get through this quickly. Here's a biggie. How do I know which is better for my child, ACT or SAT? That's a very common and a very important question. I'm going to answer it by saying this. The only way you're really going to know is to take both tests. Full tests, real tests. That said, there are plenty of diagnostics I can give. They range from an hour up to 3 or 4 hours, depending on how advanced and how detailed you want them to be. But you really got to dig in and you really have to do it. The tests are too complicated to really just look at them. You really have to work on them. They're similar, but they're also different at the same time, which is sort of paradoxical. And so it is. So how do you know which test is better? Generally, they say ACTs are more like school, SATs are more reasoning. I talked a lot about this a couple weeks ago on one of the other webinars. But my answer to that question is, and I think it really is the best answer, is you got to practice with both. You got to try them. You got to feel it out. What almost always happens is, for better or worse, is that people prefer parts of one and parts of the other. So they may like the math and the ACT, with the reading and the SAT, or something like that. And so it's pretty rare. I get a student anyway who just loves one test, but not the other, or is really favoring one, or frankly does substantially better in one than the other. Next question. How many times should I plan, or we plan, to take these tests? The sort of smart alecky answer would be keep taking them until you get the scores that you want. But I think it's reasonable in this day and age to plan to take some combination of SATs and or ACTs at least 3 times. And probably the average in my caseload is probably 4 to 5. And let me stress immediately, that's not because people aren't doing well. It's because they think they can do better. Because sometimes the more you take these tests, the more comfortable you become with it. And to improve 30, 50 points can make the difference in getting into the school you want to get into and not getting into the school you want to get into. So you really can never have too high of a score. There is a point of overkill with admissions, but that's my advice. So I would say practically 3 or 4 times. This year, I had one student took the test, the SAT in November, nailed it, got a score they were completely happy with, and walked away. But again, it seems to be the exception, not the rule. All right, we've got kind of a quiet group today. What are questions? So you know what? I think we are going to just kind of wrap this up. As I said, this is a weekly adventure, and I try to vary the topics to make it interesting, or at least things that people are interested in. Soon, I'm going to bring in some guest speakers as well. I've got people who talk about funding, educational funding for college, more specifics, an expert in the college application process. I've got a few admissions officers who are willing to come on, but not during the application season, which is now. The importance of the essay and how to write it, standard test updates. And I also want to talk about a lot of things in the maximum education side that are near and dear to me: time management, information management, having a daily action plan, working your plan, planning your work, things like this. And maybe even most importantly, what are my people out there want to hear about? Tonight's talk was because people asked and suggested this is something that they thought was important. So here again, here's how you could reach me, or reach mAke the grAde, and we go from here. So I'm going to do one last check, see if there's any more questions. Is this webinar the same time of the week? Yes. Every week, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock West Coast time. It is likely February 27th, which is in 3 weeks, I will be traveling, and there may not be a webinar that week. I'll make an official announcement as soon as I can. The problem is I don't want to take the risk that where I am, I won't have the proper internet connection, things of that nature, but we'll see. So that is it. I want to thank everybody who came on, and thank you for your patience. Thank you for your questions, some very good questions. And that's it. So keep studying, keep trying to get better every day, and everything's going to work out. If I can do anything to help you, I will. Go from there and do one last thing. I'll say hello. Hi, everyone. This is me, Steve Greene, and the mAke the grAde corporate headquarters here. So good to see everybody. Thanks again, and I'm going to shut this down. see you next week. So long.